Most of the things happening in this country at the regards to the common folk of this place, which is pretty much 99% of the American people. So here's my thought correlation about war. War is never great, okay? I'm pretty sure everyone already knows, but I'm going to still state it because, for the record, because, you gotta clarify, because it's like, even though everyone knows, but people don't know what am, what is, okay, yeah. So I still have to say it. So, because I want to, and it's also because of what I believe in. So, yeah, war never great, but not as to say it's something not to be done, only if all other options on the table have been, has been gone. It's zilch. We already tried this, we already tried to give them this and that, or give them some relief and sanctions here and there. Again, I'm not really clarified on policy, but I assume this is more or less what we're dealing with here. Again, just a person. So I never went to college. I don't know what any of this is, but I understand the generosity of things, if that's something to go by. But hey, belief is belief. That's how this world works. I believe in XYZ, you believe in XYZ. Agree or disagree, or perhaps worse things or better things to come because of that. Who knows? But aside from the fact, getting off tangent, but war is never great. War is the thing that you would last want to do, and is the last resort, or if in an emergency, I suppose, to an extension. Again, it's last resort, or if something came up that allows such a discernment to instate war. Because in war, no one wins. No one. Even if you do win as a country or lose, doesn't matter. Whoever won or lost, there's always going to be loss. It's always going to be bad. Period. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. There's going to be economic consequences. There's going to be humanity consequences on the human toll of life on either side. And it may be long-lasting consequences of said war and hatred to be bred into future generations. It is something no country wants, period, without any delegation or otherwise. And to know that we have a current sitting president who spontaneously did just because, for still yet to be determined reasons, which I assume it's going to be the atypical, well, because they're the Middle East and all Middle Eastern people are terroristic and we must, yeah. Do that, and yeah. So, great idea. But when I mean by great idea, I mean it ironically. It's not a great idea. I don't know why this president did such a thing. It's the most foolish thing I think he's ever done. Random war for no petty reasons. By the way, if I recall, now this is not a guarantee, this is all opinion. I always have to, I didn't say it in my other previous video, but I will say it every video. This is opinion. It may or may not be true, take it as you wish. It may be whatever you want, because I know at the end of the day, everyone has different beliefs of what is truth and false in this world. So, do say as you wish and do believe as you wish. But this is just merely an opinionated piece. So for the clarification. But yeah, it was his fault. This manic man of a sinner who declares himself a great peace king got out of a previous existing treaty, then decided to accommodate harsher economical sanctions. Is unacceptable. That's the reason why the Iranian people fought against the government, because they realized, hey, the economy's not doing so well. So now I'm angry, and now I'm going to go, I suppose, as ironic I would like to state, bitch at my government. And then the government responds with the good old, you're all acting crazy, and death pursues, and irresponsible and angry people start getting into skirmishes, and then it starts becoming violent, and people keep dying, and because it's going out of hand. And then all of a sudden, Trump is over here saying, I'm going to save you all, so now I'm going to take out your president. And now I want regime change, when this was more about, quote-unquote, not letting them have nuclear missiles, which they already did, by the way. But again, that is not to resent the fact it was his fault to begin with for getting out of the treaty. that would otherwise allow them to have nuclear power, but not nuclear warheads. And even then, should that even be a worry? I thought we, America, knows all things, and we probably do, most likely. We know where everyone's at. We know where things are happening. If they were going to do it again, we could have done other things that couldn't result to an escalation of hell and destroy an Iran president of current sitting just because he felt like it. It was his fault to begin with. He made that happen, and he's over here declaring, I'm going to save the Iranian people, even though I was the one who got out of the treaty, which later on over the years, then that's when the economics start falling. And then now, this. So, you may debate with me if you wish, but then again, I'm not really well aware of the principles of what actually is written by laws and what have you, what passed in the past few years since he got out of that treaty. But I do know he's just generally gone off the treaty. This is from my own technical research. So, this man has caused a war, and yet he touts himself as a peace president. Does that mean peace is war and war is peace? So in order for to have peace, we're going to have war. Yes, I understand that that is the means to the end, but that's only if it is the last resort. This is why we must have delegations of the peoples of both sides of said parties to come to an agreement. Otherwise, so be it, by God. May war happen, as terrible as we don't want it, then so be it. And this president immediately went with, I'm going to kill the sitting president and pretend to be the great king who has thwarted evil and is the peace president. By killing their president altogether, when this was quote-unquote about nuclear-capable bombs. Not just energy, but specifically bombs. Absolutely ridiculous. I will not have it in this country. Even though I may be a commoner, I act like some sort of delegational person on strict peace guidelines, but I assure you, I'm just a common person. But this is ridiculous. This is completely unacceptable. I cannot believe such a president would do such manic things. He does not deserve to be in such a pedestal with great power. He is nothing but a sham. But that's all my opinion for now. I hope, perhaps, I'm sure, and I shouldn't even doubt myself. Honestly, I'm sure some people have a similar feeling about what I just said and would agree, and I'm sure some others would be like, no, you're wrong. Because I'm already aware. There are those who will and those who won't accept such agreement to what just happened. Even though I don't know all the details myself either. But one thing's certain, you don't result into war. That is the last thing you want to do. The death, the human toll, the economical toll, is just blasphemy. And also, it sets a terrible precedent, because if we're going to just go against the rules of international concept and peace and rules that we had stated, since, if I'm not mistaken, I'm not a history buff, World War II, then that just means any president of any other country, enemy or not, can just do the same. Is he even aware of that? Is he even remotely concerned that perhaps other countries can just whisk him away or kill him on the spot? This is a great time to think about the things that he has done that are against not only the national connotations of the rules. Not to say I want to believe there's any rules. I mean, to be fair, humanity is humanity. You can't really control humanity. But we want to have rules, especially when it comes to the endless seething bloodshed of war. But this president has opened a gaping hole of a great flesh wound upon this world's order that probably will never recover if he continues to do things unappalling, and that our government continues to allow it. It is unacceptable on both sides of the party to continue to allow this to happen. A foolish mockery of a world that touts peace, freedom, but also strength, but only when it's necessary and dire as a last resort, and not just because we think they're bad. Absolute nonsense. In which case, that is all I have to say. Very seething, very angry, very disappointed in such a present of this caliber. Until next time, I wish you all to stay safe.